Welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. I'm Grant. Today I'm unboxing Beneath the Med, Regia Marina at Sea 1940 to 1943 from GMT Games. This game came out in late July, 1st of August on the P500. It's been on there for about 2 years, give or take, and is another solitaire simulation designed by Gregory M. Smith. As you know, he's designed many a great solo sub-game, specifically with Silent Victory, The Hunters, and The Hunted. Now Beneath the Med. I also know he's working on a solitaire Japanese submarine World War II game. As you know, he's done many air games. His most recent one that hasn't come out yet but should soon is Western Front Ace during World War I. He's done Interceptor Ace, Night Fighter Ace, America Bomber. Defending America is another upcoming title. Greg's a busy boy, and he puts together very interesting and fun to play solitaire war games. So Beneath the Med, you can see this is one of their 2-inch boxes. It's pretty thick though. I'm not a big fan of the cover. I know what they were trying to do. They took a picture of the sub and then they kind of did a green or black screen over it. I don't know, not great, but it does match the others in the series, the Hunters, the Hunted, and even Silent Victory. So consistency is probably something that's important. Here's the spine of the game. You can see that. I like the Italian sub-captain up there, and then you can see the name of the game there. They also have the destroyer and then the submarine there, kind of the prey and the hunter, as it were. Let's go ahead and get this opened up. I've played Silent Victory. I've played many of his other air war games. Looking forward to this one because these are great narrative-driven solo games. You get involved in the captain and the crew's lives. You get to choose some skills, develop them, see them build and do their job, and ultimately, you know, they get destroyed by a destroyer and sink to the bottom of the ocean, never to be heard again. But frankly, when that happens, you just start another campaign. That's the great thing about it. Here's the rule book. It is a matte finish, fairly good quality. There's 24 pages. There, as you can see on the back, there is an index on the back. So if you're looking for injuries, you can look at injuries and find what section it's on. 7.5.7, 7.5.7 right here. Injury duration. So you can look those up fairly quickly. The rules for this game, I have never found them that difficult. When I've played Silent Victory and his other games, it makes a lot of sense. They stick together. They have good player aids. Occasionally, you do have to refer back to the rule book for a little more detail. But yeah, the game's pretty easy. Setup's generally pretty good. I would like to see more clarity in the rule books, particularly in the examples. But I think overall they work and they do a good job. These games are fun. Most importantly, they're fun and interesting. Here you can see skills and crew advancement. I mentioned that earlier. You know, you're going to have the opportunity to become expert. You're going to get bonuses to certain die rolls, and that makes the game a lot easier and a lot more fun. So if you can ever get to that point where your crew is growing, you're going to have a lot better time. But a nice looking rule book. I think it's going to be easy to use. Here are the counters. There's 1.5 counter sheets, very standard for these games. As you look at them, you can see a lot of different things. These are damage markers here on the left. Here you have your different types of torpedoes. You have electric, steam, etc. There are chances for those to be duds. You're going to have to roll for those when they're fired. You have ammo here for your deck gun. These are light wound and severe wound markers. Here are different counters for, well, those are the aircraft. So those are the aircraft that, there may be some missions where you have aircraft that you're working with. I'm not sure. I need to look at that a little closer. These are mines that you're going to encounter out on your missions. And then here's your different medals and awards. That's another interesting thing. You're going to, every patrol that you come back, You're going to measure that against what is expected, and you have the option of being awarded a medal and advancing in rank. That ultimately adds to your fun and enjoyment of the game. You can also see there are some skills there: mechanical genius, gunnery, charisma, etc. There are some of the small midget submarines there, the SLCs, as you can see. So there must be some missions where you can pilot those. I did an interview with with Greg on this. I don't know why I don't know that. But yeah, that's a look at the main counter sheet. And then there's another half counter sheet for targets. These are the targets that you're going to be firing at and trying to sink. So these are British and American ships, freighters, tankers, large freighters, small freighters. You do have some warships here. As you can see, Royal Sovereign, Warspite, and Indomitable. So there are some different ships and different counters there. Those are going to be identified through charts. That's the one thing with these games that I've always found. There is a little bit of chart fatigue. You know, it'll tell you, hey, to do a fire attack, you have to roll on chart C7, and you roll there, and then it might say roll on chart C9, and then once you hit, you have to roll on D10 to do damage. And there's just a lot of charts that you're going to have to run through. This is your patrol log. You're going to fill out your name, the name of your sub, your commander, and then you're going to track the targets and the outcomes of your different patrols. And obviously, the more tonnage that you sink, the better that you're going to do. So you can see that goes all the way down to the bottom. You're going to total those at the end of your game, and that's how you're going to decide whether you were a success or a failure. Here we're getting to the charts and some of the player aids. Let's go ahead and look at the submarine types first. Yeah, so here you can see these are the different submarine cards. They are double-sided. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 of these, if you can see all those spread out like that. They've got the class, when they're available. So all of these submarines aren't necessarily always available at the beginning of the war or the late end of the war. And obviously your submarines are going to improve over time. You track your damage, your flooding from when you are being depth charged or when you exceed what is called test depth. We've all done it. We've tried to get away from a destroyer that is tracking us by going too deep, and ultimately you roll, and sometimes you can take flooding and damage. If you take a certain amount of flooding, you're going to be sunk. You do track damage on your different equipment, your hydrophones, your dive planes, your fuel tanks. Those are all listed here. Your engines, your motors. And then these are your transit boxes in the different theaters that you're in. So you'll notice there at the Western, it says Western Med, and you're going to go through all of those boxes and make certain rolls, contact rolls. You're going to see if you're going to run into freighters or escorted freighters or an aircraft or a minefield, etc. And you're going to use a counter, and you're going to track yourself through that. When you reach the end, you're going to return to base, and that's going to be a successful patrol. Well, success will be determined by whether or not you sank any shipping, but success is surviving sometimes, frankly. But you can see that the different patrols are going to change. Where you're assigned is going to change. Here we're looking at some of the earliest craft available, the Perla class, available 1940. Looks like most of these are available in 1940. There's one that's not available, the Fluto class, until January of 43. But you can see you have 6 different cards, double-sided. There are 12 different submarines that you can take out on patrol. This is also a patrol map that shows the different areas that the Italian submarines patrolled. And it's double-sided. So here, this is kind of the Atlantic patrol route. You can see they go to the Caribbean, the Atlantic, the North Atlantic, and then they go to the South West Africa, and then all the way to Brazil. So you can use that to track your progress as well. And then these are in the Mediterranean. These are the Mediterranean cruises, not cruises, but patrol routes. And you can see the different ones there. So you can use those to track. And remember, I said that there are a lot of charts And I actually didn't get all the charts. That's the attack mat. So here are the different charts that you're going to have. So here you can see there are 4 or 5 of them, and they are double-sided. But you can see there's all kinds of things. Attack procedure, how to overcome, find targets. These are for the SLCs, the manned torpedoes. Here are the warships that you're going to have to target, the freighters, target roster. You're going to roll on these and identify what you see. Here is where your hits and your damage that you're going to take, escort detection chart, escort air attack chart, submarine damage chart there at the bottom. So you're going to roll on all those, and you're going to take different damage and decide whether you're destroyed or not. They also have a battle mat. What you're going to do is you're going to place all of your targets on their box, and you can see these say based on size. So this takes 2 damage. It's 1,000 to 5,000 tons. If it takes 2 damage, it's going to be sunk. You're going to start that counter here. Once you hit it once, you're going to move it here. You hit it twice, it will be destroyed. So you're going to use this. It gives you the different kind of references to the attack and how to do it. Very useful. I use that a lot in Silent Victory. This is called the dress-up doll. And yeah, wargamers play with dress-up dolls. What you're going to do here is you're going to track your commandantes and your crew statuses here with medals, different badges, and awards. And then you're going to track your skills here on the bottom, and then whether your crew is green, trained, veteran, or elite. So there's a lot of details in this game. Here are the dice. The 20-sider is used very rarely. The most used dice are the 10-siders and the 6-siders. So there they are for you. But that is Beneath the Med. It's an interesting game. It doesn't use necessarily a map or a board. It's kind of theater of the mind in some ways. And you do use, although you do use charts and graphs and different things to help yourself go through your mission. These games are fun. I've always enjoyed them. This is just another example of Greg's great depth of knowledge and his interest in learning about these games, because he does a lot of research to bring these games to us, and I think he does a fantastic job. I've never played one of these that I have not enjoyed. There are ones that are better than others. I'm interested to see how this Beneath the Med compares to some of the other sub-games that I've played from Greg. Different Navy, different protocols, different equipment, generally the same system, so I'm interested to see how that plays out. So definitely I will be playing this one solo, and hopefully we'll do a review video to show you guys how it works. But once again, Beneath the Med, GMT Games, designed by Greg Smith. These are kind of can't-miss games. If you enjoy solitaire, narrative-driven war games, this kind of a game is for you. And this is the newest game from GMT on the subject. So check it out. Let me know what you think, and I've appreciated you watching, and I've been Grant for the Player's Aid.